By the mid-1980s, personal computers were becoming more common, but to connect, you had to use a telephone line. Software was primitive, and cell phones were, well, they were the size of a suitcase. And the World Wide Web, WWW, did not come into existence until 1989. As machines became more sophisticated, the word Internet began to creep into our collective vocabulary.
Allison, can you explain what Internet is?
That was 1994, 26 years after the Internet first came to be. In 1997, fully half the households in America which were connected to the Internet were using AOL.
You've got mail.
America Online. We were getting connected by the millions, oftentimes to complete strangers. Cupid was online too.
He did not know how old I was until the day before we met.
She used to just say, oh, I'm a few years older, I'm a few years older.
And where all those people were gathered, there was money to be made.
Investors are really trying to hitch their wagon to all things Internet.
Suddenly, the words Silicon Valley were on everyone's lips.
Internet companies are the hottest and most profitable investments in a generation.
And in the year 2000, the dot-com bubble burst.
Most dot-com retail companies will be out of business by next year.
But while investors cried over their losses, inventors and entrepreneurs kept improving ways to use the Internet.
The Google search engine has gotten so popular, it's given rise to something called Googling. That's where you type in the name of a friend to see how many times he or she shows up on the Internet. And then there's self-Googling, where you type in your own name, G-E-O.
The power and speed of the Internet made a lot of things obsolete. A show of hands, please, for all who remember encyclopedias. Among the books you no longer bought were the ones sold in stores.
We're trying to create something entirely new, something that the world hasn't seen before.
First a bookseller, then a purveyor of just about everything.
Actually, all orders do need to be placed online.
Thanks to or because of the Internet, Amazon has moved into our households.
Alexa, how many ounces are in a cup?
It's worth noting how the popularity of the name Alexa has dropped significantly. By the mid-2000s, smartphones exploded into the marketplace. The first iPhone?
There we go, right there.
In 2007. Just about that time, Facebook entered the scene.
Connecting with friends is something that everyone needs to do, and Facebook lets people in all different demographics all over the world do that.
Connectivity. We wonder if 50 years ago anyone imagined an America where we spend so much time on screens, as much as 12 hours a day, including TV. The first electronic connector was Samuel Morse. His message across a telegraph line in 1866, "What hath God wrought?" What indeed?
It should be understood that our entire world is changing. If you understand that money is going digital into a new cashless system, your mindset on dealing with this current world system will be different. You will be preparing and embracing for the change, as well as being better to read between the lines of all the lies and distractions that are being spread. One of the biggest agendas in this world is about creating a new world order. The agenda is not only about creating a new world order, but along with it, creating a whole completely new world. They are slowly planning on introducing to us into a new digital world that they are creating. The stuff that looked like science fiction that they spoke about in movies is really a reality that they want us to be a part of. And like everything else that they do, they are not preparing the masses by proper notification and education, but they are not hiding it either. They have put the information out there for us, and like with everything else, it is up to us as individuals to do our own due diligence to understand and prepare. This world is coming to a great reset, and they show us concretely that this is going to happen. I am reminded of this every day by these topics of 5G, blockchain, the metaverse, Web 3.0, and the fourth industrial revolution. In this future world that we are speeding towards, we are talking about a future of control, basically a police state. You know how in America there is a call to defund the police or suggestions of police reform? In this new world that is forming, There will not be any need for the traditional police because the citizens of the world will be completely online for the leaders of the world to monitor and control. This will be a future where governments, through their use of their artificial intelligence systems, AI, are able to listen to anything in homes and personal conversations. They will know what everyone is talking about, big or small. As a matter of fact, the technology today can pinpoint who is exactly speaking.
Of course, your voice isn't the only voice in your house. Siri knows that and can recognize the voices of each member of your household so that everyone gets their own personal experience.
Like the lady said, Siri isn't limited to just knowing when you are speaking, but the whole family. This is because of our phones, tablets, TVs, video games, Bluetooth speakers, and etc. Alexa and Siri listens to everything everyone is saying. Before, in this current world order, the police would normally do a stakeout or follow those they deem as criminals. In this future, the police will follow everyone right from their desk. They will know where everyone went because of their phones, watches, and cars all have tracking devices on them that record everything. Also, this goes into the implantable chip, the mark of the beast, they plan on distributing to the world population. In this future, there will be no need for police to be in the street monitoring traffic because all of our cars will be self-driving, all working through AI. They will have robots that will monitor and control the public. There wouldn't be much human control, which will make those trying to put the human control on things easy to spot out. We are talking about a total system of control that is monitored by a few people instead of large police organizations all over the world. Artificial intelligence, AI, will be the ones truly guarding the world. Just imagine how many jobs are being replaced by robots. Understand, this will also include the traditional police world. The world will be on a different type of lockdown that will be enforced through the examples they make of people. This is explained a bit further in the books by Klaus Schwab, which are The Fourth Industrial Revolution, and another book called Shaping the Future of the Fourth Industrial Revolution. If you read these books, they explain a great deal about what we are currently seeing forming in this world. They are currently transitioning our minds for this fourth industrial revolution that is upon us, and they are just getting us ready for it. Now, there is a segment of the book I want to bring out that goes along with what I am talking about. In the book, he speaks about megatrends, and megatrends are powerful transformative forces that could change the global economy, business, and society, have been changing the way we live for centuries. Think electricity, automobile, the internet. Basically, they are trends that have an effect on a global scale. So Klaus speaks about trends that will affect the whole world and change the way we live. Klaus says, to identify the megatrends and convey the broad landscape of technological drivers of the fourth industrial revolution, I have organized the list into 3 clusters: physical, digital, and biological. All 3 are deeply interrelated, and the various technologies benefit from each other based on the discoveries and progress each makes. So Klaus explains these 3 megatrends that will be coming in this next industrial revolution. He broke the fourth industrial revolution into 3 parts, megatrends, which are physical, digital, and biological. But in this video, I will speak on the physical megatrend. Listen to what Klaus says about the physical megatrend. There are 4 main physical manifestations of the technological megatrends, which are the easiest to see because of their tangible nature: autonomous vehicles, 3D printing, advanced robotics, and new materials. And all of these things are right in front of our face. We know about driverless cars, but they plan many other autonomous vehicles to be introduced in the mainstream. Autonomous trucks, drones, aircrafts, boats, and etc. Basically, all of our transportation will be run by artificial intelligence and will not be operated by humans. Things like our Ubers and DoorDash, these things and more will be automated by drones and driverless cars. This is a big change. We are giving over our control to robots we do not control, but others do. Their plan for drones is the most alarming though. They have shown what to expect from these things in many dystopian movies and shows about the new world that is coming. We can't reason with a robot, and they do not operate off of feelings. So when you are having robots interacting with our society on a normal, consistent basis, that's dangerous, and that is a change. They are also using 3D printing. They are using 3D printing to make buildings and houses. Even in movies like Mission Impossible, they show using this making a face. This technology is real, but many people do not have a clue. Claus says this about 3D printing. 3D printing, also called additive manufacturing, 3D printing consists of creating a physical object by printing layer upon layer from a digital 3D drawing or model. This is the opposite of subtractive manufacturing, which is how things have been made until now, with layers being removed from a piece of material until the desired shape is obtained. The technology is being used in a broad range of applications, from large wind turbines to small medical implants. 3D printing will become more pervasive to include integrated electronic components such as circuit boards and even human cells and organs. Researchers are already working on 4D, a process that will create a new generation of self-altering products capable of responding to environmental changes such as heat and humidity. This technology could be used in clothing or footwear, as well as in health-related products such as implants designed to adapt to the human body. This is the future that is coming. They plan to artificially create human cells and organs. There was this new technology that is being used when the World Health Scare, when they gave the world an unknown solution. It is important to know what they are planning and what they are capable of, because when things get rolled out, it will not come with a choice of acceptance or not and continue on with your life. It will come with accept this or we will shut down your life. Just like what happened when they were giving out the solution, you should know that they have plans and methods to roll out controversial medical procedures. Claus also speaks of advanced robotics, but I won't dive into that because anyone with the smallest discernment can recognize the dangers of having robots moving throughout our society, but people will still accept this. People will accept them the most when they deploy them as public safety. I remember when they introduced the combat robo-dog, but people don't recognize that this is the first step. You see, they roll out a smaller dog that seems powerful but controllable, and then they just expand the technology to robo-humans. They will roll out robo-cops, and this is something that they have been alluding to for decades. The police force will be robots. This is part of what they mean when they say police reform.
Until today, Thomas King was a convicted felon, wanted for rape, arson, and murder. This man has torn apart American families. On the loose for 6 years. And where was this criminal mastermind hiding? Right in front of the police headquarters. Here he is, just steps away from two of Detroit's finest. These two officers are completely unaware of the monster in their midst. And then, in 60 seconds, I repeat, just 60 seconds, Detective Murphy brings him down.
You have the right to an attorney. If you cannot afford an attorney, one will be provided for you.
This, my friends, is the future of American justice. How many, like Thomas King, will pay for their crimes now that RoboCop is here?
And to add to this, I remember there was a DC movie named Injustice that showed this type of system around the world. It showed a worldwide surveillance system called Brother Eye that watched everyone's moves. It had drones that were monitoring people and even showed robots that were like police to enforce people to abide by the laws.
On the upside, no crime, like you always wanted.
Now the government is criminal. Superman has created a police state.
I give you a meso.
A robot?
Much more. This is an indestructible security and defense system that can learn and adapt. Your drones are useful, but what if something more robust is required? Imagine one of these in every city and town carrying out your orders.
These people show us in many ways that this is the future that is coming to this world. So there will be a whole brand new system that is coming after the collapse of this old one. One of the biggest parts of this future that comes into play is our money. One of the biggest ways that crime was able to happen in our current world system was because of cash, physical currency. Because physical currency doesn't have chips, money is able to be moved underground, so it can't be tracked during transactions. It limits the system control of things. The central banks around the world are actively working on systems to start using digital currencies. The whole way money works will be forever changed, and therefore will be total control. When this digital currency system is put in place, and this is the only way people are able to buy or sell, this means the world system is able to track everything that is happening around the world. There will not be one transaction that was logged and recorded, so there can never be an underground economy in that digital currency system. I do believe there will be an underground system based upon bartering, but that will be short-lived for the simple fact that at that time, many people will point out those who are trying to maneuver around that system. This is what will cause those to be handed over to the beast to be killed. Now brother will deliver a brother to death, and the father his child, and children will rise up against parents and cause them to be put to death, and you will be hated by all for my name's sake, but he who endures to the end will be saved. Matthew chapter 10, verse 21 to 22. Then they will deliver you up to tribulation and kill you, and you will be hated by all nations for my name's sake. And then many will be offended, will betray one another, and will hate one another. Matthew chapter 24, verse 9 to 10. This new world order approaching is a system of control that will be managed by elites through their control of artificial intelligence that goes through our data and looks for anomalies and non-compliance. Many people want to ignore this future and act as if it's science fiction and a future that is far from us. They believe it's for our children's children and not for us, but that is not true. People that feel this way need to open their eyes and look at the world that is being built right in front of them. Then all of this will make more sense. Then just maybe it will allow them to live more in who truly matters. You cannot stop this system from being implemented. You do have a choice if you want to be a part of it or not. People need to learn the truth about this world so they can understand the structures being built around them and the reasons for it, and not being ignorant to them. But it's up to you what you do and who you serve. But if serving Yahuwah seems undesirable to you, then choose for yourselves this day whom you will serve, whether the gods your ancestors served beyond the Euphrates, or the gods of the Amorites in whose land you are living. But as for me and my household, we will serve Yahuwah. Joshua chapter 24, verse 15. Now there is so much to say concerning this new digital world system that is coming. So where am I going with all of this? You see, I started all of this by talking about the future and where we are going. Now that I have provided brief examples of this, let's talk about how this is even possible to implement. You should understand that this system wants mind-controlled slaves that are not ready and prepared for the world that is to come. They do not want us to be prepared for the future. They have us distracted and want us to be dependent citizens of the world they are quietly building around us. You see, the powers that be have been building a new system under our noses and have not been explaining it to us. They have not been preparing us for it with education and understanding, explaining the pros and cons. They only highlight the benefits but never speak about the negatives. They keep us distracted in politics, sports, fake financial news about a propped up stock market, and coronavirus. They are building a whole new system for the world right under our noses. They aren't explaining it to us except that it is the best thing for us all. That is mind control. So let's get into these tools that will be used in this new digital system. When understanding where this world is going, you need to understand there is one major piece of mind control that many people seem to fall for. People just don't understand the true control structure of this world. People know the world is changing, but they believe that the change that is coming is all about handing control back over to the people. The future is being framed in the way of decentralizing the world, giving power back to the people. Basically, people believe that Web 3.0, the metaverse, and cryptocurrencies are tools to bring power back to the people so that we are not controlled by corporations and governments. The people excited about cryptocurrencies, NFTs, the metaverse, and Web 3.0 believe that this new change coming to the world will be about bringing equality and fairness to the world. They are all super hyped about this coming future. This mind control is just another version that they tried to sell us with the idea of democracy. It is a ridiculous thought to believe that power is going back to the people. Power is always held in the hands of a small few. The only power that they give out is the power of illusion. They give out the illusion of freedom. If you really understand this world, after the massive amount of control they have now, they can build these structures that make people believe they have power when they are actually a slave. That is the Matrix, by the way. The fact is that in the system that they have created, they have amassed so much power that they don't need the same power structures that they built before. They can control the people more directly without the need of a lot of the red tape that is now present. They want a one world government and a one world currency. And for the one world government to be formed, they need to remove the barriers. And that is what these new technologies are doing for them. So they are moving to change the whole system and the whole way everything works, which is why this news about Elon Musk and Twitter is so heavily reported. Everything you hear about Musk is about bringing up the future. It's just a way that brings people attention to it. Elon Musk is bringing up the discussion about the changes that they are planning to bring aboard. Instead of focusing on the drama that they promote when they're speaking about him, focus on the future that they are talking about. Facebook, one of the most powerful companies in the world, changed its name to Meta because they know the future, because they are the future. Through their collection of data, they have been one of the companies reshaping the future. And this will all be done through the implementation of Web 3.0, the metaverse, 5G, and blockchain. So let's go over these tools. So what is 5G?
So special about 5G? Well, 1G brought us phone calls, 2G, texting, 3G, web browsing, and 4G, video streaming. 5G promises to make all of that faster, but maybe more important, it should make room for a flood of new gadgets like self-driving cars, smart homes, weather sensors, traffic lights, security cameras. With 5G, all of them can be connected at the same time without causing a traffic pileup of data. It all works because three characteristics of 5G make it a potential game changer. One, it's fast. How fast depends on how it's set up. For phones, top speed should be not only a bit faster than 4G, but unlike 4G, which can be bursty, 5G phone speeds are more consistent. Two, it's agile. In the world of data, that's low latency. It means the time between you asking to play the video and the video starting to play, much shorter. That's a big deal for things like driverless cars, which will be reacting to traffic warnings and other alerts from the network. Three, it has endurance. When it's set up for communicating with sensors, 5G networks don't make devices use as much power to communicate.
Back in 2020, it is no coincidence these 5G towers were being put up while they placed the whole world on lockdown. They never told the general public they were doing this and never informed people what these new towers were. I get a lot of resistance when I tell people I don't believe in COVID. The coronavirus pandemic is a scapegoat of 5G radiation. 5G is the massive amount of radiation that is being spewed out in our air over our towns and cities that is actually weakening our immune systems and giving us virus-like symptoms. There is no coincidence that the virus was being blamed all over the world at the same time that this new technology was being built all over the world. There will continue to be COVID cases now that the 5G system is being used in the retail space by the general public and not just by big businesses and enterprises. When coronavirus was first being spread, they played with the masses, showing us what they were doing. You should look at that T-Mobile commercial advertising for 5G.
New moment in wireless has begun. T-Mobile and Sprint are joining forces. By bringing together our two networks, T-Mobile will build America's largest and most reliable 5G network with more towers, more engineers, and more coverage. You'll get the best 5G network and the best prices. Welcome to T-Mobile, America's largest 5G network.
What do you think those pink lines are? Yes, that's radiation, and radiation is very harmful and dangerous. They promoted 5G is for everyone, but haven't told us one negative thing about it. Either way, there is nothing you can do to stop this system from being implemented. For believers, I am just recommending not being a tool of Satan. Stop following his lies and use this information to understand what time it is and what is happening in the world. This is not about taking it to the streets, and I do not advocate any of that. You cannot stop Bible prophecy. This is all mental that I'm speaking towards. Win the spiritual battle first, and then next win the mental battle. You will see that the physical battle doesn't really matter. Now let's go over the future of 5G. As this new world system is being developed, there is no shortage of new emerging technology applications and tools that are being built to be used within the 5G framework. A reality that was once in the realm of science fiction is rapidly moving into our practical reality. From self-driving cars, the Internet of Things, smart devices for both individual and institutional use, and all kinds of other ideas are becoming mainstream. With that said, and no matter what specific tool we want to look at and examine, all of these new ways of doing business are depending on the information that is being communicated. Very simply, everything is run off of our data. I once heard a CEO say that our data is the real currency of our time.
And you just made a comment, right? Data is the new oil. We call data is the new currency.
People and businesses in this digital world have a digital footprint. I'm sure you wouldn't be surprised there's a digital database that knows more about you than you probably know about yourself. Every piece of information that you ever gave the government, job, social media, Apple ID, and etc., that is all transmitted to a digital profile where they have an understanding of who you are. This data is extremely important to this new world system. The overall plan is only for the amount of data that they collect to increase in size, so that there is nothing literally hidden about every person alive on the earth. With all of their plans to control us through this digital police state, all the systems that they will be using are not possible to work efficiently in real time without a new, better way with transmitting a massive amount of data. The 4G system that they have in place is not efficient enough for this. If the world is using a self-driving car system, the cars will not be able to communicate over 4G network. That's why they added all of these 5G networks on the highway. Also, there are 5G lights. Adding to that, if they wanted to be able to listen to all conversations and analyze all data on our devices, they need a better way to send and transmit that data. If all transactions around the world are going to be digital through using the microchip, then they needed a way to transmit this data faster than what our current system allows. That's why there's talks of 6G internet. In the end, if they wanted everyone to have an implantable microchip that is a beacon of control for everything, again, they need a better system to transmit all of that data. I believe the chip will be implemented to solve the problem of privacy that everyone will have with having completely digital lives. In order for this new era of inventions, apps, products, health systems, monetary systems to operate as advertised, and in creating this new world order they are advertising, the information or data that is transmitted must be secure as well as travel fast at large speeds. Now, in the marketing of 5G, they love talking to us about the small things like streaming or entertainment. Now, for the majority that only looks at the world that can be better entertained, yes, our streaming will be tremendously faster. We shouldn't see load times taking all day and lag times and stuff like that. Compared with 4G, 5G is faster, more reliable, and provides greater coverage. At peak speed, it's about 20 times faster than 4G, with the minimum peak download speed of 20 gigabytes compared to 4G's 1 gigabyte. Like as they upgraded 4G, they made the Wi-Fi available in people's residences, going up to the speeds of 1 gigabyte. But now what they're saying is that it can go up to speeds of 20 gigabytes. That's extremely fast. But they didn't put these towers up all over the world just so that you can watch your Netflix in faster times while they are streaming. Get this right. The system that they have been building is highly important in order for success of this new world order to happen. A smartphone malfunctioning, not loading videos, might represent an inconvenience. But if self-driving cars are hacked while other industrial devices are hacked, or they're moving slow and not communicating with each other effectively, it can very quickly become a very dangerous situation for all parties involved. So they have built a massive system that is transmitted through 5G, and then the information is secured through the blockchain technology. Listen, this world is right in front of us. Everything we are seeing are just satanic narratives to distract and sedate us. But the system of control that they need to start this new world order is already in place. They are building it right under our noses without explanation or warning. They are building a new system to work with this new technology. Then they are creating the conditions and narrative to implement it with us and allow us to comply with it. They are even making us want it and beg for it. That's mind control, that's programming. But let's keep going. What is blockchain?
If you're a modern criminal, chances are you've used it to buy guns, drugs, and even launder money. Sounds dodgy. It's a technology called blockchain, a global online database that anyone, anywhere with an internet connection can use. Unlike traditional databases, which are owned by central figures like banks and governments, a blockchain doesn't belong to anyone. And with an entire network looking after it, cheating the system by faking documents, transactions, and other information becomes near impossible. Here's how it works. Blockchains store information permanently across a network of personal computers. This not only decentralizes the information, but distributes it too. So, how can a multi-purpose online database whose users include criminals work for everyday use? How does it stay relatively hack-proof? The answer is blockchain's millions of users. They make it difficult for any one person to take down the network or corrupt it. The many people who run the system use their own personal computers to hold bundles of records submitted by others. The records are known as blocks. Each block has a timestamp and a link to a previous block, forming a chronological chain. It's like a giant Google Doc with one key difference. You can view it and add to it, but you can't change the information that's already there. The blockchain enforces this by using a form of math called cryptography, which means records can't be counterfeited or altered by someone else.
Name whatever system of control you want to look at in this new world order: self-driving cars, the tracking and monitoring of people's daily lives, using a digital currency like Bitcoin or Ripple, a digital healthcare system that puts health records in digital form, or an insertable RFID microchip system that they want to implement to work along with the digital currencies, healthcare, tracking, driving, and etc. No matter what type of system you want to discuss, the data will need to be transmitted fast and secure. The 5G will take care of the speed, but blockchain will take care of the security. Really, that's all you need to understand. The blockchain makes all data basically unhackable. It allows a system of control we have never seen the likes of before. Using the blockchain technology, there will never be a loss of information again. Everything becomes easily trackable. Information of the world activities, everything will be logged into a digital ledger that is decentralized. Those who will be in control and in charge of the system will have access of all the data in the world and will control the world through controlling its data. This only becomes possible with the implementation of the 5G network, providing the speed and security. It's 5G and blockchain, but it doesn't end with just this. Another product that will be used simultaneously with 5G is a product they call Web 3.0. What is Web 3.0? Web 3.0 is the next evolution of the internet. It will be utilizing blockchain technology and tools of decentralization like cryptocurrencies. In our current version of the internet, Web 2.0, we are the products as we browse social networks and interact online. But in Web 3.0, it is framed that we will now be the owner of our content. The stuff that we post online, you have full control of your data. Like with the metaverse, Mark displayed this in his presentation about it. He owned rooms and having NFTs and other items. The world, the economy, everything changes and be all about your value online. With Web 1 and Web 2, there are middlemen. Like Facebook is the middleman for the community. YouTube, the middleman for content distribution. This is very much like in our finance system. Our banks are just middlemen for financial transaction. The primary role of middleman is to facilitate trust. But the more we rely on these middlemen, the more control we have given them and more dependence we have on them. Web 3 has been dubbed the read, write, trust web. In order to develop trust, it will use the technology of blockchain. Blockchain is a decentralized, distributed, immutable ledger. It is a secure way to record and keep track of information without the use of one central authority. Blockchain is decentralized, meaning it has no centralized owner or manager. Instead, it is managed and maintained by its entire network of users. It cannot be controlled by one government, corporation, or anyone, so they say. With no single entity in charge, blockchain allows its users to add and verify transactions and information themselves. Blockchains are peer-to-peer networks governed by their users. Blockchain is immutable, meaning unable to be changed. Once a transaction is verified by the network, it is added to the blockchain, or what is called a block. It creates a block. And once a transaction is added to the blockchain, it's permanent. It cannot be changed. Users store copies of blockchain on their own devices effectively, backing up its content in thousands of places in real time. Basically, everything that we do online will be able to be tracked, recorded, and can never be changed or removed. And then it is said to be secure using cryptography. Blockchain utilizes cryptography for the encryption and decryption of information. And cryptography is just a way of encrypting information until it gets to the person it is designed to get to, and then it is decrypted. In the future of the world, everything becomes digital. In this new system, every movement, every word, everything done is logged, tracked, and through blockchain, it is permanent. And because our lives are so dependent on the web and everything that we do is monitored already in the web, what happens is that everything that you do in your life will be tracked, logged, and recorded, and it can never be changed. So this system that they're talking about with freedom will be the most knowing system ever created. The next tool that would be used in Web3 to help with the trust is cryptocurrencies. You see, they can talk all day long about cryptocurrencies and their volatility. It's only because the people that are talking about this don't understand the technologies in the future. They're only looking at it as a currency that is tied to fiat currencies, but that has nothing to do with what the cryptocurrencies were created for. If you understand the future, you would know that cryptocurrencies aren't going nowhere. Bitcoin is what is going to be used to implement the system of the market of beasts. Cryptocurrencies are the incentive mechanism behind Web3. You see, the key to Web3 is having a digital wallet. You need a wallet in order to use the dApps. MetaMask and Coinbase wallet is different from a Coinbase account on a centralized exchange. MetaMask and Coinbase wallet are two popular wallets. These wallets allow you to carry your cryptocurrencies around. In our current Web 2.0, you only need a browser and apps. But with Web 3, you need the web, which will be more interactive than a simple browser. That's where the metaverse comes in, and you will need a VR headset and other tools that will help you to be on the internet. That is why you see all these promotions about the virtual reality headsets. And as well as those tools, you will need a virtual wallet. This is where our money will be held. It is a virtual wallet. In our current Web 2, world data is collected and sold to advertisers in order to fund websites and applications. In the future world of Web 3, handing over your name, number, date of birth, and other sensitive information in order for a dApp to trust you is unnecessary, because the blockchain has built trust into the system itself. You do not have to worry about trusting the corporations or trusting the entities, because the blockchain will be the trusted resource that everyone understands that it cannot be manipulated. And so therefore everything should be secure. That will be the basis of thinking in this new world. The idea is that users would reclaim their power and control over their own data. They could possibly move from platform to platform on the internet using a single personalized account, rather than having to log into multiple different accounts for each respective company and platform. Like you won't need a different login for YouTube, Instagram, Facebook with all of these different logins. You won't be going on the internet with a whole bunch of different logins and passwords. Everyone on the earth will have one identity that they can go online with, and you can only access it through your microchip. This is what the metaverse is being built for. In order to transact and buy and sell, you will have to do it through this system, because this is what the new system will be based upon. People will have one online identity that they're able to use to live out their daily lives. And if you're non-compliant or break laws or anything else, they can simply lock you out of the system. But this is what they don't tell people. You know how they make a system that you can't buy or sell without having a mark? This is that way. But let's look into the last tool that will be compatible in this coming digital economy. What is the metaverse?
The next platform and medium will be even more immersive, an embodied internet where you're in the experience, not just looking at it. And we call this the metaverse. And you're going to be able to do almost anything you can imagine. Get together with friends and family, work, learn, play, shop, create, as well as entirely new categories that don't really fit how we think about computers or phones today. Rather than just focusing on this year's products like a normal keynote, we're going to talk about the future. So let's start by exploring what different kinds of metaverse experiences could feel like, starting with the most important experience of all, connecting with people. Imagine you put on your glasses or headset and you're instantly in your home space. It has parts of your physical home recreated virtually, it has things that are only possible virtually, and it has an incredibly inspiring view of whatever you find most beautiful.
Hey, are you coming?
Yeah, just gotta find something to wear. All right, perfect.
The metaverse is a new digital universe, a digital world. It is the next era of the internet, which is projected to deliver a digital environment that is similar to real life. It's a whole new world that people around the world will be plugged into. The metaverse will exist in parallel to reality, allowing people to work, open businesses, socialize, communicate, and interact with one another in a fully immersive system of virtual designations. Right now, all of us look at the internet through our phones, computers, and other devices. What the metaverse will do is move us into the internet. It is actually likened to living in the internet. Have you ever seen the movie Tron? This is what that is about. This is much deeper than stuff simply being virtual reality. You see, virtual reality headsets and hardware like that are just tools that assist people in plugging in. But when you add in the other pieces in place like blockchain technology, cryptocurrencies, artificial intelligence, 5G internet, remote work, gaming, online social activities, and more, all of these pieces will meet at a one singular point to create a virtual universe in the form of what we will call the metaverse. people will live in an artificial, augmented reality.
Going around Soho, hiding AR pieces for people to find.
3D street art? That's cool.
Send that link over so we can all look at it. This is stunning.
Okay, that is something.
That's awesome.
Wow. I love the movement.
Wait, it's disappeared.
This is amazing.
Hold on, I'll tip the artist and they'll extend it.
Wow, brilliant.
If you guys like it here, I have another room that you're gonna love. Check out this forest room.
Huh, let's see it.
Koi fish that fly? That's new.
This is wild. Hey, one sec, Boz, it's Priscilla.
Hey, you have to see this. Beast is going crazy.
Oh, I love that guy. We've got to show that to the kids. Can you also send that to my dad?
I'll message him.
All right, see you at home. This place is great, Boz, but there's something I got to get back to.
People will live inside the internet.
That's it, Mark. I'm moving to the metaverse.
They will be merging the physical world with the digital.
You'll be able to take your items and project them into the physical world as holograms in augmented reality too. First, we're building tools that creators can use to place digital objects into the physical world and let people interact with them.
The grand vision of the metaverse is to provide a parallel digital universe connected to our physical world with multiple digital technologies. This parallel virtual environment and the bringing together of the online and offline world will allow the user to experience and communicate in the digital world through avatars, which will be the user's chosen persona, and it will feature many elements from physical reality, including buildings, work, leisure locations, and other different landscapes. One big thing that is happening right now is that people are buying digital plots of land in the metaverse. They are buying digital real estate.
Breaking out, but it's not happening in your backyard. It is happening in a fake world called the metaverse. The virtual real estate market is on fire right now, and our next guest says there is real money to be made in this fake land grab.
What's unique about the metaverse today is that virtual worlds are being designed specifically for adults, where they can live inside these virtual worlds and carry out their life.
Websites like Rentable are literally a leasing agency for virtual real estate. Like, all you really have to do is just browse and choose the property that's within your monthly budget. Make sure the length of the lease is what you need and the location is good. And also there's a security deposit, just like in the real world, where if you're late on paying the rent for the following month, then you lose that deposit. And then as soon as you pay for your first month's rent, the land is yours to do whatever you want with, right?
The ultimate goal of the metaverse is to look and feel like physical reality, allowing your avatar to move around freely, interact with others, and access information just like in the real world. The metaverse aims to connect with reality by designing a large scale of virtual reality setting where anyone can have a persistent presence as an extension of their physical self or company. The metaverse can also be a merger of all realities, filled with artificial intelligent entities, making it possible for people and other beings to communicate and interact shared environments. An example of this is like what they showed in the movie Free Guy. There are so many purposes that the metaverse will take care of. The elite of this world, who control a majority of the world's wealth. In 2019, the Oxfam report showed that the world's richest people own 50% of the world's wealth. And their report done in 2020, it showed that the world's richest 1% have more than twice as much wealth as 6.9 billion people. In their report, the wealth gap has grown even larger since the pandemic. These people have gained complete control over the world and its resources. They own the land, real estate, businesses, social entertainments, and pretty much our complete way of life. And being that they now have a complete handle on all of these things, and also being that there is no way to bridge a union between the rich and the poor, the rich will stay rich and the poor will stay poor. They have created an alternate universe that allows the poor to live in a digital reality that they can escape the true reality of this world. A place where they can use their digital money, their cryptocurrencies, to buy and sell in this digital universe. This will make the world a lot smaller and easier to control, while the rich will stay rich and own all of the actual physical assets, the real stuff. The poor will try to build something for themselves online in a new digital world. They literally have created a digital matrix. People have been conditioned to accept this digital world for a long time.
Gaming is how a lot of people are going to step into the metaverse for the first time.
Video games is one major way how people have been primed to accept this metaverse that is coming soon. These virtual reality games are not harmless. This is something that parents have to consider and think about. And though by taking a stand against them, you may be removing the world from them, but you will be doing them the ultimate good. These games have us living in a virtual augmented reality that is growing by the day, and it intends for our minds to be attached to a world that is not created by our Father in heaven, our true creator. All of these games from Roblox, NBA 2Ks, Fortnite, Minecraft, Rec Room, Grand Theft Auto, Call of Duty, Dragon Ball, Fable, and many more games like that. These games are introducing and conditioning us to live in an alternate reality. The metaverse aims to be an essential hub for all of these games and more, but it will allow us to teleport and go between games. We have been conditioned to care deeply about our avatars because this is what represents us online. We buy them clothing and make sure they look good and cool. This is the truth about all of this. We care more about how our avatars look online more than how we look physically in the real world. We have been conditioned to care more about the metaverse rather than our true physical world. On Fortnite, they allow people to do real concerts on the game that millions of people go online to watch this happen digitally. This is real influence that comes from all around the world. People will attend these online events and concerts from their homes. This is the metaverse, and people are already in it. A lot of these games allow the player to create their own avatars and buy them things and go on adventures with them and build careers in the game. The avatars they build have very real features that is similar to real life. And we grind and work very hard to build our characters up and have them look a certain way because in a sense, this is us building our own personal identity online. We are able to roam cities and be able to chat with friends and interact with many different people from across the world. We have been trained to care about these digital personas very much more than our real selves. We are able to also collect virtual currencies in these games, like VCs for an example in NBA 2K. People actually pay real money to have these virtual currencies to use in their games to build their character, get items, clothes, and etc. This is just conditioning people to accept the metaverse when it rolls out. People who think that this is far-fetched will not be ready for the new age that is coming and will have a rude awakening. The thing is that this has already been accepted, and the better they get with the technology, the more it will be accepted and adopted. This is what NFTs are for. People buying digital properties to own in the metaverse. You can buy an NFT and hold it in your digital home. Klaus Schwab has a quote saying, "You'll own nothing and you will be happy about it." But from understanding the metaverse, you can see how this quote is possible. You see, in the physical world, we will not own anything, but in the digital world, we will have possessions of many things. Even your own house on the lake, you will have virtually. Though the physical world will be in complete disaster, you won't care because they have created an alternate reality for you to live in. That's also what they are not telling everyone. Do you know what has been the biggest promotion of this metaverse? The pandemic. When they implemented the worldwide lockdown, they pushed everyone online, and the youth especially are tapped in. Even adults got locked into digital features like Zoom. This was all conditioning the population for entrance into a new digital world. Chaos in the world has been a catalyst for the most craziest change that has happened in the world. It's order out of chaos. And the great reset that they are planning that will occur after the collapse of the United States dollar will usher in the next phase to the implementation and conditioning. The majority of the world who will be dealing with massive poverty, unrest, destruction, death, famine, and etc., they will all be looking for an escape route from the physical world, and the metaverse will provide this for them, which is why we are seeing the rollout now. The metaverse opens a parallel world of opportunities for those less privileged by their immediate geography and economic circumstances. They will create a world where everything is much easier to govern and manage because all lives will be placed online, where everything is logged, monitored, tracked, and recorded. The plans are to be able to tie our physical identities to the metaverse in a singular way that allows our identities to be known and not duplicated. Our profile names will cross throughout all platforms, and if you violate the rules, you can easily be locked out. This is literally the Matrix in real life. People being plugged into a digital reality, there are so many agendas that coincide with this. Everyone needs to understand and be aware of where they are moving this world to. They are moving the world out of the physical world that our Father created and moving them into a digital world that Satan has created. There are many different movies that have alluded to this type of world scenario. For instance, this type of future is shown in the 2008 movie by Disney titled WALL-E. After an event from climate change that left the world in ruins, the elite ruling class moved the masses into an online digital world, and these people had a digital community that they all interacted in. And there was a captain that monitored and tracked everything in that system. But these people interacted in the metaverse, and WALL-E was going around trying to unplug people from it. But this is how they do this predictive programming through the television shows and movies. It all sounds like crazy science fiction until you actually see it all come together. You could be whoever you desire to be in the metaverse. There are no rules in this metaverse that has anything to do with our Father in heaven. But there will, of course, be rules of engagement, very much like how they do now with the current rules of the web, like with what we can say and can't say, rules like that, but more global and further reaching. But this is the metaverse. They are creating a whole new world right in front of our faces, literally telling us about it, but they are describing it as benevolent. But if you really think about it, every movie they have made that has shown us about people living like this all show very big moral and ethical problems. We are already living during a time where they are removing Yahuwah's influence away from this world. They have been conditioning the world to forget about Yah's ways and his purposes for us. People already live in a non-biblical reality. But on top of that, they are actually opening a doorway for the world to walk into that will put them into a new world that Satan has fully created and that he is the ultimate God of and is all-powerful and all-knowing and all-present. In the metaverse, Satan is the one who is omnipotent, omnipresent, and omniscient. He is literally creating a virtual world to replicate Yah's real power, and he is steering the world right into it unknowingly but willingly. And all of you who care for Yah and his word, who are believers in the Bible and believe in salvation only through Yahushua HaMashiach in the English tongue, Jesus Christ, if you are a true believer, this new world being created is in complete opposition to your belief. It is a complete attack against you, and they are hoping that as long as you live in ignorance, you will not be the wiser of what they are doing. They are hoping to have a mental stranglehold on our children that makes them view this alternate world as a good thing. But it is bringing them right into Satanism, allowing them to live and do whatever they want. Living in another world that was not created by our Creator is one of the ultimate gestures that show allegiance to Satan in his new world. Now, after all this has been presented to you, I want you to understand something. Yahuwah, the Most High God, created this real world that we are living in. In the beginning, God created the heavens and the earth. Genesis chapter 1, verse 1. We know that this world that we are living in is His. He is the creator of it. All things were made through Him, and without Him, nothing was made that was made. John chapter 1, verse 3. This new virtual world is a man-made creation where everyone can take part in creation. It has nothing to do with Yahuwah. When they blend a digital world with the physical world, they are completely creating a satanic world that Satan has dominion over. This is always the scheme or plot. This is always the backdrop and plan of wicked men of this world. They are creating a world in service to Lucifer. And if you are not walking in discernment and not keep Yah and his word first, you can and will be sucked right into this. Sadly, our youth have been conditioned to accept this, and it is up to the parents to have a conversation with them and bring them out of it. If they have been using most of their time engaging in a virtual world where they hang with their friends, they have given more of their life to Satan's world. To them, it may seem harmless and innocent, and to us parents, we have no idea what they are seeing and doing in there. Now understand, I am not against video games, but I am against living in a virtual world. This is a major satanic agenda that can fly by the multitude because it looks like technological advancement. Science, natural philosophy, has been placed as a God in this world that is creating its own ways and pushing forth its own doctrines and mindsets, its own healing powers, its own take on genders, and now it is creating a whole new virtual world. And if believers do not get strong in their faith, they will find themselves dragged right into it very subtly but purposely. You have to understand that this is a completely new system and a new world being created. This system does not come about until after the chaos. This system is prepared to implement the new changes, and the people are ready to adopt it. But for the full implementation, there must be enough chaos to support a massive change for the whole world to adopt. This is not a hypothetical situation or someone reaching. This is technology that is already here. They are just waiting to roll it out. After the global economic collapse that would throw the whole world into chaos, after countries are destroyed and mass amounts of populations are lost because of the World War III that will ensue, after people die from famine and new pestilences, after our systems are made insecure because of cyber attacks, after more judgments happen that they will blame on climate change, after the world has been completely uprooted, a new world government and a new world leader will work together with the brightest minds all over the world and bring in a plan of peace and security that will bring the world out of the ashes that it came from. And they will fix the problems that brought the world to the division that it is in. This phoenix that rises out of the ashes will be the new world order. The changes implemented will be the great reset. And the leaders that will solve the problems and bring the peace will be the Antichrist. The system that will be built will be the metaverse, and the whole world will be brought online. And the whole world will be able to interact with the beast, the Antichrist. And he'll be in the metaverse. And if you want to be a part of his solution, you will have to accept and bear his mark. That will be the only way you can access this new system. And that will be your only way to buy or sell in this new world economy. Because they will be tying your personal identity to the chip, will make it sound more secure and less hackable, and make sure that there's less fraud and everything is secure. This is the peace and safety that they will be promoting. We are all being primed and conditioned to accept this all. All of these technologies are built and are ready. The only thing they are waiting for is implementation. And that does not happen until the collapse that we are currently watching happens. This moment really takes hold. These people move through a philosophy of order out of chaos, and we are right now at the door of the chaos. To prepare and protect yourself, the one thing you must do is understand how much you have placed yourself into the hands of the system, and how conditioned you are to accept where they are taking things. Very much like when they put out the mandates, people were totally opposed to taking their solution until they tied in a requirement that said you couldn't partake in their system unless you took their solution. And then people started conforming and doing things they were initially against. It is because they never mentally prepared themselves to bow out and not move with the changes. Because when they make these agendas, they make believable stories, so people don't question things that they should absolutely question. You need to be mindful of your interaction online and how dependent you are on the internet. Once you enter in the metaverse, this new system you will be in is Satan's world literally, and Yahuwah the Most High will not operate in that artificial world because that is not his creation. Satan has created his own world that he has power and dominion over. Now Satan does not have more power than Yah. Don't get it twisted. The point is, if you choose that online artificial world, you are choosing Satan's world more than Yah's. and you will be judged in the real world on the day of judgment. For the wrath of God is revealed from heaven against all ungodliness and unrighteousness of men, who suppress the truth in unrighteousness, because what may be known of God is manifest in them, for God has shown it to them. For since the creation of the world, his invisible attributes are clearly seen, being understood by the things that are made, even his eternal power and Godhead, so that they are without excuse, because, although they knew God, they did not glorify him as God, nor were thankful, but became futile in their thoughts, and their foolish hearts were darkened. Professing to be wise, they became fools, and changed the glory of the incorruptible God into an image made like corruptible man, and birds and four-footed animals and creeping things. Therefore God also gave them up to their uncleanness and the lust of their hearts, to dishonor their bodies among themselves, who exchanged the truth of God for the lie, and worship and serve the creature rather than the Creator, who is blessed forever. Amen. Romans chapter 1, verse 18 to 25. You should understand completely that we are entering into this new world order. The technology to control and implement it is fully in place. That should not scare you, but make you aware that your time is limited in regard to making choices. You must repent, for the kingdom of heaven is at hand. I want you to be ready for our Savior. I want you to commit to him today. I want you to know that time is almost up on your indecision. I am hoping that if you understand just how far along we are in this world agenda to control us and bring about worship of Satan through his coming false Messiah and prophet, I hope that you, by seeing how close we are in this agenda and how rapidly things are approaching, that you will take him serious today and put nothing above our Master and Savior. All of this is part of the narrative for Satan to prepare the way for the beast. His followers are preparing the way for satanic dominion. Believers are preparing the way for Yahuwah to fulfill his word and redeem his righteousness. We are about to enter into extremely dark days, and you need to have your mind right. You need to fully know who you serve and why. I am literally tired of those straddling the fence right now. Either you are for Yahuwah or you are against him. You need to stop having a form of godliness but denying its power. Stop straddling the fence. Stop saying you love God but showing you love this world. I want you to love our Father and make yourself ready for him through belief in his Son whom he sent. If with all of these signs he is allowing us to see very plainly, and you are still not able to come to a decision to submit to him, that is your decision, and make sure you are able to stand on it and live with the consequences of it. The thing is, all of this will not last forever and will be gone. Then what will you have? But the day of Yahuwah will come as a thief in the night, in which the heavens will pass away with a great noise, and the elements will melt with fervent heat. Both the earth and the works that are in it will be burned up. Therefore, since all these things will be dissolved, what manner of persons ought you to be in holy conduct and godliness, looking for and hastening the coming of the day of God, because of which the heavens will be dissolved, being on fire, and the elements will melt with fervent heat? Nevertheless, we, according to his promise, look for new heavens and a new earth in which righteousness dwells. Therefore, beloved, looking forward to these things, be diligent to be found by him in peace, without spot and blameless, and consider that the long suffering of Yahuwah is salvation, as also our beloved brother Paul, according to the wisdom given to him, has written to you, as also in all his epistles, speaking in them of these things, in which are some things hard to understand, which untaught and unstable people twist to their own destruction, as they do also the rest of the scriptures. You therefore, beloved, since you know this beforehand, beware lest you also fall from your own steadfastness, being led away with the error of the wicked, but grow in the grace and knowledge of our Adon and Savior Yahushua HaMashiach, Jesus Christ. To him be the glory both now and forever. Amen. 2 Peter chapter 3, verse 10 to 18. Do you know what this is saying? It is saying that the day of Yahuwah will come at a time that you do not expect it. Everything will change, and the ways of this world will be no more. So since this is all going away, conduct yourself in godliness, being set apart from the world. Believers all have a promise to look forward to. Our goal is to be found without spot and to be blameless. We need to continue to follow the scriptures and beware of those who twist them. They will lead you to destruction. So beware and do not fall into the traps and be led away by their wicked error. We should continue to grow in the grace and knowledge of our Master and Savior, Yahushua the Messiah, Jesus Christ. To him be the glory and dominion both now and forever. Hallelujah. This is what you must do right now. All of this was just to show you that the New World Order is ready to be implemented, ready to be transitioned at any time. So your time is very limited to get this right. We must not live in fear, but in knowledge and power. Live as a believer, redeeming the time because the days are evil. Therefore, see that you walk carefully, living life with honor, purpose, and courage, shunning those who tolerate and enable evil, not as the unwise, but as the wise, sensible, intelligent, discerning people, making the very most of your time on earth, recognizing and taking advantage of each opportunity and using it with wisdom and diligence, because the days are filled with evil. Therefore, do not be foolish and thoughtless, but understand and firmly grasp what the will of Yahuwah is. Ephesians chapter 5, verse 15 to 17. Live for the will of Yahuwah. Come out of Babylon in her ways. Do not follow the paths of the unrighteous. Do not stand for their issues, nor march for their ways. But be set apart. Be a believer. Amen.